6:30 and call to order the meeting of the Public and Property Safety Committee. First, we'll have a roll call.
Maybe.
Ms. Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Newton. Here. Ms. Anthony, it's gonna be late, and Ms. Deininger is absent. 3.0, approval of the agenda.
I so moved.
Second. Do we have any discussion on the agenda?
I'm not even looking at it, but
I didn't when I looked at it.
I wanted to remove
Oh, you did?
the decisions up for a little earlier. We don't have any lunch, no, just leave it. I'm good, I'll stick it out.
You could move new business up if you'd like to after public comment.
You know, that's what I was thinking on,
Okay.
yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just move 9.1 and 9.2 to after 6.0.
And
And I so moved.
A second. Any discussion on that?
why are we doing this?
Sam's good.
I'm trying to get down south a little
He's
quicker.
headed to Springfield.
Oh, you're headed to Springfield.
You see,
Can we get the action items out of the way? It doesn't matter if you have a quorum any longer.
Okay. That's great. I will do that
Casey might not like it, but what?
so you don't have to speed.
All right. Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. All right. Go to 4.0, review and approval of meeting minutes from the March 12th, 2024 meeting. I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that.
Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. 5.0, approval of claims. On the public property side, we have cash requirements of $48,667.94. Manuals of $3,806.96, with a total of $52,474.90. On the public safety side, we have cash requirements of $95,319.27. Manual requirements of $8,582.44, with a total of $103,901.71. Do I have a motion to approve?
I so moved.
Second.
Do we have any discussion on the claims? Any discussions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed. 6.0, public comment. No one in the room. I will go to 7.0, correction, 9.0, new business. 9.1, approval of bid elevator replacement at the courthouse, Sheriff Stovall.
Last time we were here, we got the approval to put the RFP out for the elevator replacement. Everything was put in the paper according to the law. It was up for about 30 days. I think it was 28. The only bidder was Cone Inc., and they came in with a bid of $393,000. That does replace both of our elevators, which are, I can tell you, so you understand where we're at with that. We have two elevators, neither of them at this time are in compliance. If something were to happen, it's not going to be good. We must fix this problem now. We do not have the phones in either elevator, which I've told you for over the last year, because we were in the process of getting this going so that we could get these elevators taken care of. The antiquated switches are the #1 issue with these elevators. That's why they stopped working. They're old. They're the magnetic type switches, which are not even, they don't even have parts for anymore. The doors don't always work, and if somebody touches the door, it knocks it off the track because it's so old.
Oh my God.
And the elevator has to actually be taken apart. The biggest concern is the front one, because that's where the public is. Actually has to be taken apart to put the doors back on the tracks. In the front elevator, the hydraulic reservoir leaks and cannot be fixed without being replaced. So we don't want to spend, $50,000 on a reservoir with the idea of replacing them. And the motors in each are the original and are well past their life expectancy. The switches and the indicator lights do not work properly, and the parts are not available because the units are too old. So this is a must to get this done. We do have the elevator down more than we have it up. There's always seems to be a problem with that. Maintenance fees that we have to do, to get them things working, just to get the public upstairs and the inmates upstairs and down the stairs, actually from the floors. It's ongoing. We have to get these things taken care of.
And is that both elevators, front and back?
Yep, both of them.
Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
Was this anywhere in the budget for this year? I mean, we've known about this for a few years. Have you added this into your budget for this fiscal year?
This is part of the ARPA money. The
Okay.
funds are there.
Okay,
I'm not the guy behind the scenes to understand all of that, but
Oh, but
yes, but we need to get that taken care of.
okay,
I can kind of address that if you want. So those dollars were allocated, I'm going to anyway, were allocated for 2025
okay,
for both the roof and the elevator. The revenue is there, it's in the budget. The expenses were not in for 2024. So this will require the county to reopen the budget to do this.
Oh, that's dangerous.
The only, what I would say downside to doing this is the fact that it wasn't, no, it's not even a downside. I'm gonna say the upside to this is doing it a year early is going to save us money. Because I have no idea what a roof and an elevator are going to cost in
It's
2025.
gonna be more than 2024.
I venture a guess you're correct. From what I understand, when it rains over there, you've got to put buckets down in circuit clerk's office. We had somebody else get injured a year or so ago from slipping on water, not necessarily because of rain, but
No, we need to get these
the
done.
way it's been explained to me, this is basically an emergency. The elevator's been out of compliance for 2 years, the roof leaks, it's
And
gonna
we're
be
not
less
in ADA
expensive.
compliant then.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, guys, we gotta get this done like tomorrow.
I
Let's go.
have both the bids in, already taken care of, so we just need to move forward with it.
Okay. What do we need to do?
So if you approve it tonight, it'll go straight to the board on the 18th. And we will also have something on the agenda to reopen the budget to add the expenses to the budget for 2024. As I said, the revenue's already there.
All right, I move that we approve this expenditure for the elevators in 2024 to go in front of the full county board next week.
I'll second it. And, do we have any more discussion then?
Is it going to, does it have to speed bump past the finance or just go straight to the board?
The, really, the budget will go through finance, but yeah, this will go straight to the board.
No more discussion? All those in favor? None opposed. Sheriff Stowell, 9.2, discussion approval of intergovernmental agreement with the sheriff's office and the school districts in Stephenson County.
Yes, this is a simple one. What I'm looking for is a reciprocal reporting agreement between the school districts that are in our county. Now, the example that I gave you in your packet that you have has the name Orangeville in it. They'll all be the exact same. We're just going to replace the name with the Orangeville, the Lenas, the Pearl Cities, the Dakotas, and then the other one that's going to be the odd one, so I can explain this, is Forreston. Forreston obviously is in Ogle County, but their grade school is in German Valley, which is ours. So I will have to approach them and do the exact same thing, only it will be just for the building that's in German Valley. So just real quickly, a reciprocating report agreement between law enforcement and schools refers to a formal agreement or understanding between these two entities to share information regarding incidents or concerns involving students. The goal is to promote safety and security within the school environment and the surrounding community. So the other part to that is we also want to offer our services to these schools as we ran into, I believe, the first part of last year or this year, for the first part of the school year this year with the Dakotas and the Lenas, with a couple of pretty large cases that we were working. I think a lot of times the schools don't understand what they can give us, and we don't understand some of the things that they can give us. And they don't understand what we're supposed to be giving them. This is going to open up that up, get the dialogue going. And there's actually a statute that the schools go by, which is section 5-10, 20.14 of the Illinois School Code. So that will spell that out for them. And what I'm understanding is some of the schools don't even know that this is out here. I was able to speak with Freeport High School. Now, we are not the lead agency if it comes to school district in Freeport, but I am also a partner with them because we have students that are in the county that go to Freeport High School or the Freeport School District. So we're also involved in that because if something happens in the county, obviously we're gonna know about it first. With the Handle with Care is kind of the one that we're going with so that a school district will understand if a child has had a traumatic experience at home, the night, the day, the week before, so we can let them know. So that's kind of where this is going. The Lena will be in agreement with Lena Police Department also, which they've already reached out and agreed to have us be the lead on all of their investigations that would have to do with the school because they don't have the manpower to do that, even though that they will still be the lead on it. The rest of the county schools, we will be the lead on any type of an incident that would happen.
So what do you need from us?
Make a motion to approve?
I got one question. Is this several agreements because it's different institutions or is it just?
Yes. So I'm not sure how we'll have to do that. It'll have to be Dakota, or let me go around the way. Pearl City, Lena, Orangeville, Dakota, and Forreston. So it would be all, in the way I worded it, was all school districts in Stephenson County. So that way, if there's something that needs to be done with us in Freeport, if I can get that kind of that blanketed approval, obviously I run everything through Carl. He's the one that last saw this one.
Yeah.
We've made all the adjustments that we needed. So if there was probably a motion to approve this with the understanding that any additional or wording that needs to be done has to go through Carl first, it would anyway, so I'm perfectly fine with that.
Have a second then?
Second.
All right, discussion? I just got one quick question, Sheriff.
Mhm.
I read somewhere that the administration of schools could receive a police report copy.
That would all be up to the state's attorney, so that's written in there. It all has to do with kind of like the same thing, even if you're a family member and there's an ongoing investigation, you would not get that report.
All right,
Are you looking to implement this now or at the beginning of the fall school
No,
year?
right now. I've already been working with Orangeville with a lot of these things without the agreement, which is no liability to anybody. I mean, it's just an expertise versus an expertise to try to get some of these things ironed out. But we just want to have something on paper so they understand that.
all right, any more discussion, questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. All right. Now let's go. You want to do your report first or have the corner?
You gotta go to 7-1. You didn't change it.
Okay. All right,
That's fine.
Sheriff, you give your report.
Okay, for this meeting, the hiring process, we have a graduation April 25th, for a law enforcement deputy to come back and start his FTO training. We have one in about week 12 of the FTO program, so this person's been on the street and hopefully will be released within the next month. We have two leaving May 6th for law enforcement PTI, and we have one leaving April 14th for corrections PTI. So we've been doing a lot of testing, interviewing, and things like that. We have 50 inmates currently at the jail. The HVAC, the home group has done several walkthroughs and the bid is due April 17th. Fairground will be handling all those results. That's just an update for you. And they'll be the ones comparing the prices that they have with what home group brings in. Social services administrators continuing to acquire additional clients, follow-ups with the current clients. I have hired an operations support manager. She was a dispatcher and she was hired from within. So she actually went from a union position to a non-union position and she's doing a fantastic job. We had to get her started right away because she is taking care of all of the body camera evidence that we have. Now, to go with the body camera evidence, we just got all the equipment for the squad car cameras, which we will now be in compliance with, which starts January 1st of 2025. So all of our stuff will be in place and we'll have somebody that can actually manage the system. It's not a complicated system, but it's a complicated process. So we're very happy that she's jumped in knowing our systems already. She's hit the ground running. Okay, the crime suppression unit is still a position that is not full-time. We do have an officer that will be starting full-time in hopefully 2 weeks. And as I said before, we have been filling that position as much as we could with patrol deputies, until our manpower is up. But with that said, a search warrant was executed in Pearl City for ghost guns and ammunition and possession of a firearm by a felon. That's what the search warrant was for. This was the result of our crime suppression unit working with our ERT and Freeport's ERT. The result of that search warrant was 1 arrest, 700 grams of cannabis, 1 ghost gun was taken, and besides those charges, the offender was charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. The unit also assisted Winnebago County Sheriff's Office crime suppression unit in the apprehension of a wanted individual on a Department of Corrections warrant, and he was also charged with a stolen vehicle. That person left Winnebago County, and our guys that were working at that time for the fill-in for the crime suppression unit were able to assist, and they were able to take the car out safely with stop sticks and then move him into the median so that 3 flat tires would not go through the wet grass. He was taken into custody with no incident. He was then taken back to Winnebago County. So like I said, we should have that full-time person, which will make all the difference in the world in less than 2 weeks. And that person will concentrate on nothing but 2026, all the main roadways, and it will be a full-time job for that person. Like I said, body cameras are in use right now, which are great. The equipment for the squad cars arrived on Monday. That will be installed next week. And we're still waiting for the approval of the permits from the state to put the cameras up on the overpass things with the big green signs. That's the holdup now, and that's always the state thing. And I believe that is all I have. Unless someone has a question for me.
Oh, question, Sheriff. Yep. Were they detained then, arrest in Pearl City?
I believe he was detained for a couple days and then released because obviously he's not a threat.
And ghost gun, and he's not a threat.
Yep.
Huh. Imagine that.
Any other
700 what?
grams of cannabis?
Grams of cannabis, but not drugs.
Any other questions for the sheriff? All right, thank you, Sheriff. 7.2, we'll go to Mr. Townsend, EMA.
Good evening, everybody. At this month's IEMA OHS county call, we discussed the solar eclipse readiness. That went through without a hitch, thank goodness, other than some minor traffic incidents down south and a lot of traffic congestion. Talked about the asylum seekers and the uncoordinated arrivals update. I can go over that briefly here. There's been quite an uptick in the number of uncoordinated arrivals, but they've been in the collar counties of Chicago. This is a report from the big first week in April, last week in March. New buses and planes that came in were 260. Basically, the number of people arrived in the last 7 days, which is the first week of the month, in uncoordinated arrivals was 455. And the people that actually arrived in Chicago where they're supposed to at the landing zone is 556. So in the last week, we received over 1,000 people in northeastern Illinois. This problem is not going away. It's starting to pick up a little bit right now. And the uncoordinated arrivals are increasing. But we're not seeing that in our county, but it is starting to become an issue. We also talked about severe weather preparedness again and future training operations with IEMA. Our office hosted the Northwest Illinois Emergency Managers Workshop out at the County Highway Building. We had members from the National Weather Service, obviously, Rock Island Arsenal, CGH Hospital, Mercy Hospital, carried in just from our LEPC command and from the Stephenson County Health Department attend. It was about 3.5 hours of really good information that they come up and spread out to our region. This year also, our National Weather Service Storm Spotter program we held March 19th at Highland Community College was a success. We had over 120 people show for that. That's about average. We've had over 200 prior to COVID, but this is about average. And this is all over the region, Joe Davis County, Carroll County, local, come to that. So that's a nice little deal for the National Weather Service, and it's a good thing for Stephenson County, kind of show off our assets at Highland Community College. We had the privilege to attend and participate in a exercise hosted by NIPARC, which is the Northwest Illinois Preparedness Response Coalition. This is mostly due to like EMS and hospital coordinations, but emergency management obviously has to be involved with that as far as getting supplies and so forth for them. That was held down at Sauk Valley Community College. It was a chemical release drill. It lasted about 3 hours, and it was a really good drill put on by NARPAC. April is Hazardous Materials Awareness Month. With that, I'll report that each year, Stephenson County, people that hold chemicals in Stephenson County are required to report to IEMA Tier 2 Hazardous Materials Program. That is up to date, and we are currently kind of bouncing it off of last year to see where we're at and what's changed in the county. It takes us a couple weeks to get through everybody. We have about 45 entities in the county that do have some amount of hazardous materials in the county. So that's not unusual, but it is what we always are. On a couple side notes, we did have some flooding occur in the area. We were fortunate, it never got above the action stage. We were really close here in Freeport, but again, up here and then in Martintown, it never got above the action stage. We monitored it closely, but it was a good thing. We didn't have to deal with a lot of flooding. We had some road closures, and out west in Pearl City, south of Pearl City, they had some closures more than a couple of days. But in Freeport and around the area, it was more like a couple hours it was out. As I spoke to earlier, the eclipse went off. IEMA really put a lot of resources into that downstate. I think they use it twofold. Number one, you're having a lot of people coming to a not very populated area, and if something would happen, severe weather, it's hard to move these people, it's hard to control these people. So they use that as more of a training, but it also was a safety issue as far as traffic congestion and so forth. But that went really well. And I guess, the UTV, we should have possession of that by the middle to late next week.
Nice.
Okay, so that should be
Still looking for
ready
your
to
ride.
roll. And that's all I have.
Mr. Townsend, I'll still be looking for my ride.
Do you want me to bring it down here, or are you gonna come out to the office?
I'll come out to the office.
Yeah, $25 a ride. Well, that's when she's.
Hey. We go way back. I think we go further. I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Townsend. You said that we don't have any undocumented people coming out here yet. We're not seeing that.
I probably misspoke. They're here.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are here,
Go to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Any day, and you will see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
but they're
So-
not here asking for resources or assistance for help, which.
What- And I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. What are we prepared to do?
Very little, actually. And honestly, that's the truth. We have no real facility to house them. We have no resources to clothe them, get medical treatment, feed them, other than Red Cross, Salvation Army. And we're not alone. This is not unique to Stephenson County. This is pretty much every county. Winnebago isn't much different, so.
Thank you.
Jim?
Go ahead.
Has there been any discussions with the Illinois Migrant Council?
Not that I'm aware of.
Right, because they have an office in Freeport.
The Illinois, what the,
Migrant Council,
no, I have
and
not.
so they're the ones, along with some other like religious organizations and stuff, but they're the ones right now providing assistance to migrants when they're coming in, as well as I know employers are too, to be honest. So, there are people that are already doing it so that it's not affecting, government
What are
at
they
this
doing?
point, but,
I mean,
right. But,
Yeah.
and that's, I know that, but that's like the mission of the Migrant Council is to support in that way. So we've had it in Freeport, I think, for about a year now.
Okay. I'll
So,
look it up and see if I can stop by and visit with them. I'll offer anything I can offer to them, but, as it comes down to, IEMA stands pretty firm with the fact that, Illinois Department of Family Services, I think, is the one that's spearheading all this, and they're financing it all. No money's coming out of IEMA, so.
right, I just think it would be nice for us to know what's already being provided, you know, just
Yeah.
as a,
Right.
Any more questions, discussion for Director Townsend? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Coroner, Guy Welch.
Good evening, and I have just very brief, we had 40 total deaths in March. Out of those, 36 were natural cause, 4 were accidental. They weren't accidental like car crashes, they were more injury type accidental, that was the medical type. But we did 2 autopsies in March. That's really what I have to give you for information right now.
right.
Unless you have some questions.
Any questions for the coroner? All right,
I guess I have one question. It's been a while since this has been asked, but, I know that there's like the one guy who's available to go around. I don't know if it's for a specific reason, I'm gonna get it wrong now, but I'll have to follow up then.
To go around for,
It has to do with autopsies or something like that,
oh,
but
the forensic pathologist.
there, okay. Is that still just the one person for availability in the, okay,
But he is regional. We're
Yeah.
fortunate actually though over some of our southern and central Illinois counterparts because they have it a little harder even to do autopsies because of that.
okay.
So, but yeah, we do have one that covers ours.
What's the
But you, normally,
time gap between like him being able to,
normally like if I have a death, I contact him as soon as I can. And normally he does it within a day or 2.
Oh,
So, I
okay.
mean, he does it, that, like last month, one of the autopsies I had was in Freeport. One of the autopsies I went to Rockford, so sometimes I go to where he is. Usually he only has me go to Rockford, but, how he works that in, getting the autopsy completed isn't the hard part, it's getting the autopsy report back. So,
Okay.
but that, I try to tell families that.
thank you.
all right. Any more questions for the coroner? All right, thank you. All right, went through old business. The sheriff mentioned the status of the license plate readers. And 9.0 was completed. And we'll go to 10.0, comments from the committee members. Nothing? Comments? 11.0, public comment. There's no one in the room. And I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed.
How did that?
Nice.
30 minutes.